Hello, welcome back to another edition of GameOn, the show where I take challenges either posted to me by the comments section or videos that I see across the internet that I decide to shamelessly rip off for my own benefit to see if I can recreate and succeed in them myself. I really don't succeed that often. Anyway, let's roll the intro. Now, with this particular edition, we are answering the question that nobody ever asked. The question is, can you beat Fallout 4 as Dr. Emmett Brown? So first things first, we have to look at getting the appearance right, and long white hair is about as good as I can do without installing any mods. The voice as well, is about as much as I can do, so let's continue. The intro is as boring as ever, nothing happens, but we eventually get to make our stats, focusing on intelligence, charisma. We're not going to perk into strength at all because, well, he's a scientist, not a muscle man. That's kind of how it goes. The rest of the stats I just apply somewhere, somehow. With that section done, we're now just wasting time until we hear about the bombs dropping. Now we head over to the vault. At the vault, this is as boring as ever. We take a nap, watch our wife die, our son get kidnapped, and now we're on our way. Now, this is the first part of the rules that I'm setting out as Doc Brown. 1, we need to have the look, i.e. apparel. We need to have the weapon. Yes, Doc Brown uses a weapon. We'll come to that in a moment. And the companion. Yep, I'm allowing myself one companion. You've probably figured out who it is already. So with that, at this stage I can't do any damage. I don't have the right weapon. I don't have the right apparel, I don't have the right companion. So, anyone who watched my video about trying to complete this game with only Quenvas Tooth, this section is not impossible. By clever manipulation here, we just jump over some enemies, lock them behind doors, and then hide until the caution meter disappears. With that out of the way, we can use the Pip-Boy and escape. Now in the Commonwealth, the game begins. First of all, we have to get the weapon, which luckily isn't too far away. And yes, Doc Brown does use a weapon. Yes, he does. Here's my proof. Thank you very much. The only issue is, this weapon being very powerful, ammo. We're not looking good just yet. But I can't use the gun yet. We don't have the apparel yet. So with that, we're off to find a lab coat. Now I could go get the companion, but that would mean I would be causing damage before I've got the apparel. Apparel first. Lab coat first. But just because I can't deal any damage does not mean I can't do any missions. Heading over to Drumlin Diner, we help out the guys, talk down Wolfgang, ask for more money because, well, with Doc Brown, we did kind of steal, radioactive stuff from terrorists. And we also bribed a cop at the end of the first movie. Asking for more money is not too bad. With that done, lab coat. Strolling through the internet, I was looking for places where this lab coat could spawn in the Commonwealth, but for me, it wasn't. I couldn't find it on any vendor either. The ROM was effectively dead. Without this, I could not adhere to the rules I'd set out for myself. It's over. Until I remembered the beginning of the movie. That's right. Doc Brown's in a hazmat suit. Heading over to Diamond City, we pick up a hazmat suit from Fallon's, and now we're on our way. Picking up dog meat, because of course, Doc Brown has a dog, either Einstein or Copernicus, depending on the timeline. We're ready to go. Issues being though, 1, low ammo. 2, we're very squishy as we have very little damage protection. But we have our companion, and I can gun bash really. Yay. So let the challenge begin. Proper. And at this point here, I'm just going to mention one other thing to do with this run for this character. Because as we all know, Doc Brown is a good guy. He's a nice guy. He helps people. So when quests like this pop up where someone's just simply asking me for help, we can't say no. And that will come into effect in more detail to bite me in the ass later in the run. But before we get there, Let's go find Nick Valentine. But first we need to do some weapon modifications. Speaking of which, I need to address what I'm doing with perks. Modifications. I'm mainly focusing on Nerd Rage, Science, Medic, Gun Nut, Small Guns, and of course, for obvious reasons, Dog Whisperer. Whilst heading over to Nick, I'm making sure to mark as many locations as I can, just for easy XP. I'm also taking out some enemies, just for the same reason. Now in Park Street Station, Triggerman caused me a lot of issues. For me, I end up using most of my ammo way too early, leaving me to use gun bashing and dog meat going forward. I then make a 100 IQ play and try to run past the rest of the enemies and into the vault. In the vault, and it goes as expected, I use way too much ammo and health right at the start, which leaves me with running past the Triggermen to a predictable end. Second attempt goes a lot better and I make it to the atrium, but with one bullet and Dino to take care of, it doesn't go well. Second attempt gives me hope, but nevertheless ends the same. On the third attempt, I found out why dog meat isn't following me. The Triggermen I ran past earlier have followed me through. So the plan's clear. Take out the Triggermen so I have dog meat with me for Dino. Then with dog meat running distraction, a close range fat shot misses. Eventually we take down Dino, liberate Nick, remember and take the speech bobblehead. With Nick on board, we can now start to make some progress. Until we don't. As Nick goes down and he refuses to get up, leaving me to gun bash and Nerd Rage coming in clutch. After some more deaths, we finally make it to Skinny Malone, and for the first time I successfully managed to pass the speech checks, avoiding the final conflict. Whilst here I made sure to loot as much ammo as possible so I could sell them for maximum caps. Heading back to the detective agency, Fallout had to remind me of itself being 100% stable as a game. Back in Diamond City we have the caps, thanks to selling what I looted, but no damage protection or ammo. So we talk to Nick, fail to pickpocket Kellogg's key, but on the second attempt it works. In Kellogg's house we get clues, dismiss Nick, and head over to Fort Hagen. We do find some ammo on the way, but with the one we found in Kellogg's home, we now have a total of 5. I wish I marked Fort Hagen on the map so I could just fast travel over. No reason for that, no reason at all. At Fort Hagen, I forgot how I get in and get punished by turrets. A lot. We do eventually make it through. We can't do anything, my realization hits me. I need ammo. To the south of Diamond City, just past Boston Police rationing site, is a vendor, Eleanor. Thank God the run is back on. With ammo in my pocket and dog meat by my side, turrets don't stand a chance. Since, however, as you can see though, if I take my time, there should be no problems. Or not. Eventually I remember how to pull the trigger and away we go. Kellogg goes down without any issues. I think I overthought how much a challenge he would actually be. With the synths down we collect his brain and from here out we'll use his 44. It's still a revolver, so it counts. We're out of here and the Brotherhood arrive. Talking to Nick and Piper, it's off to buy more ammo from Eleanor. And then before we go off to the memory den, to Concord we go, as I've decided on the ending we're going for. As we are, good guy Doc Brown, it has to be the Minutemen. This is truthfully the best ending in the game. As we now have ammo, the raiders outside cause little issue. Our damage resistance / defense is very low, but as an added extra, I wasn't expecting, the Brotherhood of Steel show up, making outside encounters a non-issue. With the Brotherhood's help, the Deathclaw goes down, and the Minutemen are home in Sanctuary with food, water, power, beacon, and beds already installed. I didn't show too much of this as well. It's boring. Speaking of boring, settlement quest for the Minutemen. I'm not going to show all of these as they're boring, but necessary evil for the Minutemen.
More boring follows as we head over to the memory den. This sucks, so fast forward. Faster. Now more ammo, then off to Virgil in the glowing sea. This goes quite well due to the hazmat suit, and the rads aren't threatening, just running away from problems and leaving them for the children of Atom. The death claw close to Virgil's cave proved too much, so I ran like a coward. Virgil poses one issue. As I mentioned earlier, I have to say yes to people asking for help, and Virgil asks for his FEV serum to cure him, so we have to get this, which means I can't just refuse the Institute as soon as we see them. This is a problem for later though, so for now let's just crack on. First Minutemen quest is where I agreed to make Sanctuary to Surge's standards. The rest I've mainly cut for reasons previously explained. We do help Old Man Stockton and Blake Abernathy. Then in Diamond City we complete the disappearing act with Charisma alone, purely so he get a hold of a lab coat to complete the look. With enough Minutemen settlements quest done, it's castle time. Although we have a decent damage output, our defence proves to be our downfall. Over and 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 over. But eventually we get lucky, talk to Preston and end the quest. This was tough. In our paper thin lab coat, it's just not going to cut it out. Do I play smart from here or stubborn? After some more uneventful settlement quests to strengthen the Minutemen, it's course of time. And to answer my earlier question, stubborn. I play stubborn. And so this is painful. Not just the gunner with the rocket launcher, but the gunners in general. Right. My only saving grace is nerd rage and, well, a lot of luck. I know that's two things, so shh. The courser itself proved to be no real challenge at all, actually. We of course let the synth go, decode the chip, and I forget about ballistic weave. We see Virgil and build the transporter. But first, Ronnie Shaw. With the minimum effort and skill, we see the end of Sarge. And we build the Minutemen cannon. Now finally to the Institute. We speak to Father Sean's son, whatever, and due to our prior stipulation I can't just tell the Institute to do one. I need to get in to help Virgil, as the doc keeps his promises, and so for now we play nice. Heading straight into bioscience, we make a hash of finding Virgil's old lab. The flimsy lab coat just gets ripped apart by turrets and assaultrons, but eventually we do get there. Retrieving Virgil's serum, we're pretty much done and dusted. Oh, before I forget, yes, I did remember to upload Sturgis's holotape, thus making us hated by the railroad. Look, it's a Minutemen run, and personally, fuck the railroad. Straight away, we give the serum to Virgil and see the effects. We do some more Minutemen quests for a bit. Mistakenly, I decided to take on the Forge. With our lower than low damage protection, I don't need to explain why this was such a bad idea. Then I realised the Doc, along with being a genuinely good guy who helps everyone, he also isn't afraid to ask for help himself. So utilising the Minutemen flare gun, we get reinforcements and gain access to this faction's compound. This goes just as badly as outside. For the interest of time's sake, this took forever. I lost all hope and all of my sanity. Over an hour. I'm not kidding. We did save the kid, and after a long cat and mouse game, it's all over. Family reunion over? I need a break. Next, I make a piss poor attempt at making some defences for the castle, which, spoiler, did very little. Breaking kayfabe, I now need to become an enemy of the Institute. This is very possible by completing a lot more side quests for the Institute and then turning against them further down the line. But after the Forge incident and the castle fight looming over me, I do a very un-Doc move. But this is not how the Doc canonically did it. Anyway. This is the home stretch, only 2 missions left. Let's power through these as the video is long enough as it is. Defend the castle. These waves nearly made me throw in the towel, but after coming this far, I had to finish it. The amount of red and blue lasers made this look like something out of Star Wars, but we're focusing on a different franchise with a much better batting average. Like with the Forge, I ended playing a cat and mouse game and put an end to my misery. Now onto the frontal assault of the Institute. The tape we sorted for Sturgis earlier allows us to break in. We die in the sewers, but we get there. In the air. We call for reinforcements. As a team, we see off enemies and gain entry proper. The sentry bot comes in clutch. Our power lets us down again though. Speaking to Father, we raise the alert to civilians so they can all escape, and it also turns off some synths, making this overall a bit easier. We get through to the reactor, plant the bomb. Save the kid, and escaping to push the big red button. So yes, it is possible to beat Fallout 4 as Doc Brown. I've got to admit, this was a lot of fun. There are a few hectic sections with many more deaths than should have been, and I could have easily avoided them. I should have got a ballistic weave, but oh well. I am disappointed with the way we became an enemy to the Institute, with the lack of defence I put into defending the castle, but by the end I just wanted to hurry things along. So it is possible to do this more Doc-like than what you've seen here, but hey, for my first attempt at making these kind of videos, I'm kind of chuffed with how it came out. Overall, this type of run was awesome to capture and edit. So if you guys have any more ideas for some more things like these, please comment in the usual place. With that all being said, I am Dr. Beard, The Beard, whatever you want to call me, Rubbish at Games cunt. You can call me that if you want. Anyway, this has been a video, so remember to stay safe, stay beautiful, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!